Okay. These are just going to be random questions that I have in my box. The first one, I got this yesterday, I think. It says, do you ever not wear panties to tease daddy? I usually don't wear underwear because I don't like underwear. I think he's the type who finds panties more arousing than no panties. And I don't really think he appreciates the fact that I don't wear underwear most of the time. No. I just generally don't wear underwear because I don't really like it. I'm not very good with teasing and stuff. I'm not very good in presenting myself in sexual ways because I don't feel like I'm a very sexy person. And a lot of people don't really understand that because I'm such a sexual person. But for me anyway, there's huge difference between those things. Yeah. No, I don't. Next question. Hey, Jamie, I was wondering if you had any advice for me. I started dating this guy a few months ago, and he's a virgin. He doesn't really have a lot of experience when it comes to pleasuring girls, and I don't know if I should talk to him about this or ignore it. I love the feeling of just being with him, but he comes every time, and I never do. I want to have sex with him, but he says he's not ready yet. I'm being patient and considerate, but is it rude to say I'm not being sexually satisfied? This is hard. Because him not wanting to have sex, that's his own thing. You need to respect that. I also think it's important that you communicate with him just about what your needs are and everything like that. I also think it's really important that you don't expect him or make it his job to give you an orgasm. Because that's fucking bullshit. As far as orgasms go, it takes two to tango. So I'm curious as to whether or not you masturbate or know how to have an orgasm by yourself. Because if you don't, you need to get on that, and you need to learn how to do that, because he can't know your body or learn your body when you don't even know your body. It's not fair for you to put your orgasm on him in that way and say, like, well, we're having sex, so it's your job to make me have an orgasm. Because that's not how it works. It's a team effort here. I don't think it's rude to talk to him. I think it's really important to talk to him about sexual things and where he's at. If he obviously doesn't want to have sex, so I feel like mutual masturbation would be like a really great alternative. This question's pretty vague, and there's more questions I have about it. This is why I don't really like super personal or in-depth asks that are presented to me anonymously, because I want to ask questions and things like that, and I'm not really down with having conversations, like anonymous conversations with people. I think as far as him being a virgin doesn't have anything to do with anything, because there are some natural-born pee-pee touchers, pee-pee whisperers, yeah. And he very well could be one. You want to be as encouraging to him as possible. You want to be as open to him as possible. You want to be as communicative with him as possible, because that's only going to make things better for you. If he does something you like, you tell him that. He does something you don't like, you tell him that in the nicest way possible. You want to be a supportive partner. Not just like this whiny turd of a partner who's like, wah, wah, I'm not having orgasms. Especially if you can't have an orgasm by yourself. And I'm just making an assumption here, because I don't know. I think you need to talk to him, generally speaking. If you could also bring him in on the time that you spend trying to figure out your orgasm if you don't already have them. So, because that could be like really fun and really cool and really exciting for him, to get to watch you like experience that or explore that or whatever. And if you want to talk to me about that and like ways to do that or whatever, you should message me off Anon. I would love that so much. When he's ready to have sex, it'll happen. But don't push him. Don't push him with that. I don't think it's rude. Is it rude to say you're not being sexually satisfied? I don't know, because I don't know the circumstances of the situation. I don't know. So just take what I've already said, and then if it applies, make it happen. If not, message me off fucking Anon, please. Next question. Hi, Jamie. I've noticed that whenever I sit down, crisscross or straight out, I can smell my cunt. It's strong, and it's always been this way. I guess. I don't know if it's an infection or if I just have a strong smell. I don't mind it, but sometimes it gets distracting. My cunt also gets very wet throughout the day sometimes, even though I clean it with warm water in the shower. Any advice on how to manage the smell and wetness? Thanks. I'm really bad, like when my cunt is making a mess, especially because I don't wear underwear. It usually just goes like on my pants, and I'm like, whatever. As far as the smell goes, if it's like a really unpleasant smell, or like a strong fishy smell, you might have some kind of infection, like bacterial vaginosis or whatever. But if it's just like a strong musty smell, it's probably just your cunt, and that's okay. Every cunt has a smell. Every single one. I don't care what girls say. Cunts smell. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, but they have a smell. And that is just how it is, and it's totally okay. It's totally cool. They all smell different, and it's really interesting and nice and all that stuff. If you don't mind it, it's not a big deal. Just make sure you wash it with water as often as you feel necessary. No soap. No soap, no soap. If you want, you could always, I'm not going to recommend wearing panty liners to you because that's a bad idea, but you could always get cloth pad liners and wear those. Those would be far better, just for your cunt and your pH and all of that, and you're not sitting in any like weird chemicals. You also might have an issue with the laundry detergent your panties are being washed in, so I would try to be conscious of that, because that could also contribute to some smell or issue or whatever that you're having. But having a wet cunt is cool. I know it can be kind of like weird and feel gross on your pants, especially like when you sit down to pee and you pull them up and then it's all like cold and touching you, and yeah, it's weird. But cunts get messy. It's what they do. So if that's a big problem for you, I would just recommend wearing a cloth liner. You can buy those online. If you want to know where, I can tell you someone who makes them, and she's really great, and she sells them. And the smell is it's probably just like your smell. If like I said, if it's really unpleasant or fishy, then you might want to go to a clinic and just get checked out. and see if you have like bacterial vaginosis or whatever. But it sounds like it's probably just your smell, and that's fine. Come on. Next question. The person I am seeing says he doesn't like being touched, i.e. hugging, etc. Do you think this also relates to sex? And is there any subtle way I could bring it up to ask? I don't know if it relates to sex. You'd have to ask him. He's the one who'd have to put his boundaries in place. I would definitely be careful with how you ask it. I don't really know how you should ask him because I don't know him and I don't know how he works. It's something that could be, he could just be like a really unaffectionate person and it's not really his thing, or it could be something much bigger where this stems from some sort of abuse or something. So try to be careful and try to handle it with care, and just maybe, I don't know, I suppose in a situation where I wasn't really sure how to handle it or what really to say, I would probably preface it with just by saying, I'm not looking to upset you or offend you, but I'm curious about this. I'm trying to understand your boundaries, so I need to know like what you're okay with, what you're not okay with, blah 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 blah. Like I know you don't like being touchy, so but I also don't want to offend you or upset you at all in any way. So if you could tell me like what's okay, what's not, and maybe if you could just let me know why, because I know it's really hard not to take things like that personally, just like as far as like being the one who wants to be touchy. I don't handle things like that very well because I'm very affectionate, so when my partner or whatever isn't receptive to that, I'm just like, no. So yeah, just try to be as delicate about it as possible, I guess. Next question. I dyed my hair black a couple weeks ago, about 3, and I want to dye it back to a golden brown. If I bleach it, can I dye it back to brown right after, or do I have to wait a couple days? Also, will the bleach make my hair brittle and no longer shiny? P.S. You are awesome. What were you thinking dyeing your hair black if you didn't want it to be black? That's the worst thing to do to your hair. Trying to take the black out of your hair, especially if your hair is naturally very light, is really going to fuck your shit up bad. It's probably going to take it down to like a super orangey, burnt, brownish color, and it will be brittle, and it'll still be shiny. It could even turn to like mush, which I don't know how to explain it any better than that. It's like where your hair becomes really fine and soft, and you just like rub it and it just breaks. Like it just totally just like comes off, but it's not really brittle. It's very, very soft. So you, especially if you have longer hair. Oh baby, why did you dye your hair black? You can dye it after you bleach it. That'll be fine. You're not really supposed to perm your hair after you bleach it. It can make your hair fall out. But you should be fine dyeing your hair after you bleach it. Next time, though, for your hair's sake, you should really put some thought into the colors that you're putting in your hair, because especially something like black, because I've tried to remove black from my hair several times, and it's been a fucking shitstorm every time. It just like totally kills my hair. And I know what I'm doing, and I'm usually doing it because I need change. I get bored with my hair and blah blah blah. That's why I have blonde bangs. So it's just like if I get the urge to change something, So far, I'm good. So yeah, you're probably awesome too. Hi. Next question. Hi. I just, no, wait. I'm gonna make another one because this video is really long. Bye.